If you ever want to change a behavior in your life, you have to first understand how behavior is formed. Now, most people, when they're trying to change a behavior, and hands up, I did this too, I just try to change at the level of behavior. I would find myself making changes, and then sometimes one day, 1 week, or 1 month later, I'd be right back at square one. And I would get really frustrated at why I wasn't able to make some of these changes in my life. And this becomes particularly important when these changes are really meaningful. So the things that mean the most to you, or that meant the most to me, become some of the greatest places for growth. But often just trying to change them at the level of behavior doesn't work. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how to actually change the behavior at the root. And you're going to learn a fundamental structure and pattern that is going to help you change any single behavior in your life. So any result that you're wanting, you can use this framework to actually get to the root and begin to make those changes. There's something in your life right now that you're wanting. There is a new result that you're wanting in your life in this moment. So we're going to call that results. Now, instead of doing what most people do, which is trying to change at the level of behavior here, we're actually going to go and understand the fundamental structure. So these results that you're seeing in your life, that we're seeing in our lives, come from our experiences. And our experiences create beliefs about ourselves, beliefs about people, beliefs about money, beliefs about relationships. These beliefs create thoughts and feelings that align with those belief systems. And those thoughts and feelings create behavior. So the behavior that we're seeing on the surface. Now, an example of that would be you're really wanting to have a type of relationship in your life that is like passionate and beautiful and meaningful. But every time you get close to that, or every time you find yourself in a relationship, you find yourself back at the same old patterns again. So the same old patterns are emerging. So for an example, a reason that this could be happening, and this is just a broad example, is that if you grew up and you saw through the patterns of mom and dad that they were always arguing and fighting and generally disconnected, that you maybe created the belief that love is miserable. Now, if you hold the belief that love is miserable, and that comes with a certain feelings of like what you were feeling as a child around seeing mom and dad and seeing them fighting, so there's kind of held feelings in the body around that. Those held feelings create certain thoughts. So the feelings could be sadness, and the thoughts could be, I don't know if I really want to be in a long-term relationship, or maybe marriage isn't for me. And then the behavior is every time you find yourself in a relationship, 1-2 years down the line, or maybe a month in, you self-sabotage the relationship. Now, you could just try and change the behavior. That's one way. However, a more effective and skillful way is to begin to change our relationship with our experience. So changing our relationship to what happened, so creating a new perspective. From this new perspective, we create an openness to see that the beliefs that we formed aren't actually who we are. The beliefs that we formed aren't actually who we are. They were formed based on what we had learned through historical lived experience. So in this example of seeing my parents fighting and coming to the conclusion that all love is miserable, actually beginning to see that that's just their experience, because they hadn't learned how to be in relationship. So just because they hadn't learned how to be in relationship doesn't mean that all love is miserable. But my body and nervous system could have been holding that. So from that place of new relationship, new seeing, new perspective, we can create new beliefs. And those new beliefs come with new feelings, new thoughts. So that which once felt maybe sticky or heavy in the body, or there was some resistance or tightness around the thing that you really want, now that clears out of the body, and there's actually an openness or a spaciousness, or maybe even a deep longing and excitement, which then allows for when you show up in relationship, now that that belief is no longer there, that when you show up in relationship, you actually show up and you actually want to pour into the relationship. You want to learn the skills of how to be in a healthy relationship because it's something that you truly want. So you actually invest the time to learn how to communicate, which maybe mom or dad didn't learn how to do. And maybe you learn how to actually relate to yourself and to relate to your experience, which you did through this process. So you have a deeper relationship with your own emotions, your own experience, which will allow you also to be in a deeper relationship and connection with someone else. It's really difficult to change if there are underlying beliefs that are not aligned with the change that you're trying to make. It's really difficult to be in a healthy, thriving relationship if there's a belief that love is miserable. So we've got to get the beliefs, the underlying, often unconscious beliefs on board with those changes that we want in our life. So when you change your beliefs, you change your thoughts and feelings, and the behavior that you want to change will actually come naturally and easily.